How many of us remember some of the best meals, or what appear to be the best meals that we've almost ever had, was at a funeral? It was the one time where, everybody, it was treated more as a potluck to so-called send off the deceased, as if we controlled that. And yes, we're going to get into this one. This is an article that will be in the description. Let's talk. The article starts off with, I am occasionally asked why I named my radio show Funerals and Fried Chicken. Not long ago, I was surrounded by friends and relatives in the basement of a church following a funeral, and the food served was fried chicken, mac and cheese, and assorted cakes, pies, and other dessert items. I remember this and more so vividly myself. I'm pretty sure some of you can recall as well. And just now that I look at this particular article, let's start with the basement. What's considered the basement when you see grass? What's the basement of grass? That would be a grave, right? Yeah, so why was everything held in the basement and not a larger banquet hall or an upper part of a church or a building? I never thought about it like that until now. And then the food, of course, they call soul food. It really makes you think and reconsider what they meant by soul food. It's quite interesting. Very interesting. This is why I created the channel, to invoke further thoughts, deeper thoughts, introspective and insight and foresight into the things that we have been, misled and or told in society, as to awaken what it is that we have within us that is in slumber. It goes on to say, many of those present were already overweight or obese and had chronic diseases such as diabetes and hypertension. It struck me as inappropriate, if not rude, the person has put in parentheses, that we were gathered in the house of our Lord to honor the deceased while knowingly poisoning our bodies, perhaps begetting the next funeral. Yeah, deep, extremely deep, and factual and on point. So in other words, those before us, our parents, etc., were continuing such behavior, such destructive behavior, under the guise of honoring a dead body. Makes you think, huh? Makes you think really deep. Let's just leave it at, you either continue the cycle of what we used to, the things that so-called brought us to a state of mind where we were comfortable in our own ignorance, or you wake up and change things for yourself and your future generations. I can specifically recall not attending the repast. At the time, I was ignorant to what a repast was. I really didn't want to be bothered with any people. It didn't matter if they were family or friends. It didn't matter if they had a plethora of monetary and physical gifts for me. it didn't matter. I didn't want any of it, and I just didn't want to be bothered with people. And I can tell that some of my family members, they looked at me or they treated me different as a result of me not attending a repast, a gathering of people talking and talking and talking. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying that it just wasn't for me. And lastly, it states there are many other socially acceptable behaviors which involve jeopardizing our health. Some seem particularly ridiculous. So I call them funerals and fried chicken moments. If that's not the God's honest truth, that human beings, being human, involve some sort of self-destruction and cyclical destruction, constant cycles. And unless we and I change our viewpoints, recognize what's really going on with ourselves and others and entities, etc., nothing changes. And that's the reality.